Hey everybody, not a doctor, Eugene Teo here, joined by Dr Mike Israetel from Renaissance Periodization. Today we wanted to talk a little bit about something interesting that came up in conversation yesterday, very briefly. And we were talking about Japan. And I was saying, have you been to Japan? And you're like, oh, you'd love to go to Japan. You'd like to go to Japan on two separate occasions. Once when you're looking the way that you are now, which is gargantuan and disgusting. Just get the whole freaked out
Godzilla.
Yeah, Godzilla reactions from people. But you'd also like to go much later when you have retired and downsized from where you're currently at. And this topic has come up a few times on this idea of how you kind of can't wait to downsize. And I think it's quite an interesting topic because a lot of people look at a physique like yours or some of the things that you can do in terms of feats of strength or just size is one like, oh my God, I want to be able to do that. And they don't really understand the full picture of what does that really mean in terms of the costs. Like there's a lot of benefits to being the size that you are in terms of your personal goals of strength, muscle building, competing. But I don't think it gets really talked about, especially for someone who's in the perspective that you're at now where you're at that level of what the downsides really are. Like for me, I've come down about 15 to 20 kilos from my heaviest weight when I was bodybuilding, which is for the imperial system, that's like what, 35 to 45-ish pounds of body weight, which is significant. There's one thing for me to say, oh, I feel so good now, but big whoop. Who really cares hearing it from me as a smaller person? I think it's important to hear it from someone from your perspective, to be able to say, hey, look, now that you're at that peak, what are some of the things that you notice for yourself that make you say you can't wait to get to a point where you walk away from this in terms of being as jacked as you are and being able to do other things and downsize?
Yeah. Well, I say the biggest three downsides is that I get laid too much, I'm making too much money, and I'm too happy being this big. And I'm just tired of all those things, like how can you sustain it?
I know.
It's like being Brad Pitt all the time. It must be hard, but I wouldn't know because he's small and irrelevant. Take that, Mr. Pitt. For real. Yeah. So when you get big enough, so I weighed probably at 250 to 255. I'm 5'6". I have like veins in my abs. It's neat. And the really cool thing about that is everything I just described about it. And that's exactly where it ends. Mm-hmm. Unless you're interested in a few other minor things. So being in the gym and lifting heavy weights is sweet. And when you're jacked, you can do that. Looking jacked is cool, especially when you're like in a gym mirror or something like that. The next biggest thing is how much do you like the attention? Because when you're big enough, people treat you differently and you get more attention and a special kind of attention. Guys will generally look at you and give you some sort of like most of the time when you're passing guys on the street or you talk to someone, guys auto-sort into a dominance hierarchy completely subconsciously. You're like, am I the man here? Or am I like, if The Rock walked in right now, you and I would both be like,
yeah.
Oh,
we are not.
Whatever you say, Mr. The Rock, we will do. Right. And we're on a casting couch anyway, so we're over-prepared.
Exactly.
But if you're really jacked, the dominance hierarchy favors you, so guys will automatically kind of like bow their heads to you or treat you with a sort of bit of respect or reverence or something like that. That's cool if you were like bullied in middle school and you really need that extra oomph. Mm-hmm. I sure was, and for a long time I needed it. And I'm getting to that point, well, I got to that point many years ago, but I'm overdue for that point where I just don't care anymore. And also, I don't enjoy being the alpha in a situation. I actually don't like it. Mm-hmm. I enjoy being the clown comedy guy in the background. And I actually don't like to project an image of strength and an image of intimidation. Like if you walk around jacked enough, a lot of people kind of like, whoa, like they're kind of like, and guys will make jokes like, hey, don't beat me up, and there's a tiny string of truth to that.
Right.
The first time I start talking, a lot of people are like, oh, it's talking to me. I better not do anything wrong or it'll eat me or something, right? And I much prefer being a disarming kind of person with like, you are the kind of person, if you start talking to someone, they're like, oh, this is a very pleasant person talking to me. That's nice.
Right.
For me, they have to sort of contextualize after 15 seconds of like, oh, he's a pleasant person, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's cool. Being jacked is cool if you want that alpha feel, which you definitely get from people if you're jacked enough. People just have to like, holy shit, like this guy's kind of in charge of this conversation. But if you're not into that or if you're over that sort of thing, that benefit runs its course. And then there are lots of costs. I'll just run down a few of them. One is you have to monitor your health all the time to make sure you're not dying, because the things it takes to get this big also very unhealthy. Another thing is you have to deal with side effects of the drugs you're taking in order to get this jacked, and there's like a trillion of them.
Right.
One of them is like a constant state of anxiety and aggression and nervousness, and it's awful, and I hate it every fucking moment of the day. Another thing is you're so large that it's difficult to sit in normal places. Like if I get into an airplane seat, I'm like in 2.5 airplane seats at the same time, and I'm like, when I go to sleep in an airplane, I buckle my seatbelt real tight. I slide my hands into the buckle, and I just do this. The cart lady with the airplane always hits my elbow.
Sure.
It's impossible to prevent.
Yeah, can't be in the aisle.
Sleep, it becomes more difficult the bigger you get. I got genetically really lucky. I don't have sleep apnea or anything like that. But a lot of people this jack do.
Yeah.
And that means you need a machine to sleep with, a CPAP, and that's really fucking annoying. Sleep is very uncomfortable. I have to sleep with a minimum of ideally 5 pillows around me in order to put my
prop everything up.
Dilapidated body into various places. If I don't have those, I'm either in a lot of pain when I sleep, or like large fractions of me will, like my entire arm will fall asleep, and I'll wake up and be like, holy shit, pins and needles. You need to eat a ton all the time to the point where you're not interested in eating any food. You still have to do it in order to get any bigger or even maintain your size. And, you know, as far as flexibility, mobility, getting into and out of cars is really hard. If you are in a top end of a mass gaining phase, walking around makes you tired and makes your lower back and calves hurt.
Yeah, I've forgotten about that. Like the lower back pumps you would get, tying your shoelaces, you get out of breath.
100%.
And it's not necessarily because you're cardiovascularly unfit, it's just that you are just such a large human.
Yep.
It's a lot of stuff to move around.
Yep. And it all kind of blows, right? And a lot of people, I think the real pertinent thing is, a lot of people have sort of asked like, hey, like, you know, how big do you want to get and how long do you want to get big for? And I'm 38 years old, and I think I'm going to get a little bit bigger until I'm like in my early 40s, and then I'm just going to stop everything and probably go down to like 190 pounds for a while, maybe for my 40s, and then go probably to 160 pounds in my 50s. That's my plan anyway. We'll see if I make it that far. But a common question folks will ask is like, how can you just give all of it up? How can you lose a bunch of muscle and be okay with it?
For sure.
And there's actually a good answer, at least for me, and I think for many others. Before you have gotten as jacked as you are able and really pushed the envelope and really pushed your body to an extreme over and over and over and over, and been jacked and been jacked and been jacked. I've hit most musculars in every gym across the world already and have been very impressed with myself. Until you have gotten that satiation of your drive, it's a very alien concept for you to think I could ever give up trying to get jacked.
Yeah.
Because you want something out of it still. But if you've, like, I've been really jacked by at least my standards, which is the only ones that count because it's how I feel about it, right? For like at least 10 years, probably like 15, 10 for sure. And gee whiz, you know, I've gotten tons of compliments from people, I've gotten tons of reverence, I'm like, oh, holy shit. I've impressed myself a bunch. And I've been big and lean and big and lean and big and lean so many times that hole in my heart from, I guess, being bullied as a child or whatever. Also, I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competitively. That helps a lot. That probably helped even more than being jacked. But Jiu-Jitsu is actually fun. Being this big is not that fun. So that hole over time, I think, has gotten filled to where I just don't have an ego about it anymore. Like if I see a person more jacked than me, I don't get jealous. I'm like, well, that's neat. Yeah. And if I lose a bunch of weight, like, so, you know, when I'm, you know, off cycle or low cycle and I'm significantly smaller, which for me is like, you know, 15 pounds less, but it's 15 pounds and you look a little fatter at the same time too. Yeah. I'm not upset. I feel better and I'm like, this is great. I can't wait to just get off the shit forever. For sure. So I think it's easy for someone to say before they've really maxed out their potential and really grinded it for a while and really soaked in the aura of jackedness, which is definitely a thing. It's awesome to be big.
Absolutely.
But when you soak in it for long enough, and here's a big one, appreciate what you have accomplished and take the time to really, inside your own head, compliment yourself for it. Like, some people say like, hey man, I just want to tell you, you're really jacked. Some people are like, oh, no. And they really mean that. They haven't really accepted it yet. Yeah. But when people tell me I'm jacked, I say, oh, no, for a joke. I know deep down inside, like, yes, thank you, I feel very jacked. If you feel jacked long enough, think it fixes some things deep down, maybe forever.
Yeah, for sure.
And then,
for sure. It's more of an internal process.
Are you agreeing with that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That was like for me when I was at my biggest. What fueled me getting to that point was a lot of external validation. I needed to get that appraisal from other people in the gym, just other people in general. Like I wanted to get that alpha,
yes,
that attention, that confidence. Again, same as you in high school, I didn't really get much of that. But then but you see a lot of people, they never lose that. It's insatiable, no matter how long because they keep chasing and pursuing that over and over again. But the moment that I started accepting and enjoying and appreciating what I had,
yes,
that's when I was like, oh, now bodybuilding's got nothing else to offer me.
Yeah.
It was like, I still want to learn, I still want to push my limits, I still want to train hard. So I still will train hard, but the actual external package of looking a certain way, I was like, yeah, I don't care. That's a byproduct. For me, it's more just about, I enjoy the process of training. I enjoy the process of experimentations. I'll keep doing that. But whether or not I actually get to be 15, 20, 30 kilos heavier or not is less relevant now because the end product, I'm happy with how I'm feeling and functioning now. And I know what it feels like to be much heavier, how unhappy I was in terms of just daily function.
Oh yeah.
Like I can do so much more now in terms of like basic things like sleeping or walking, but it could be things like jiu-jitsu or surfing or skating or whatever. I can do these things and not be encumbered by sheer size
100%,
getting in the way.
100%.
But yeah, big thing was, like, for myself, it was mentally getting to that point where I was like, yeah, I'm actually very content and I have enough in terms of my size or whatever. I've achieved enough there. Adding 10 more kilos won't change much. So you get that point of diminishing returns. Like, of course, if I was maybe 20 kilos lighter than I am now, I might be unsatisfied. I might be like, you know what, that's a bit too far.
Yes.
But where I'm at now, I'm happy. If I added on 5 more kilos or 10 more pounds of muscle, I'd be like, cool, whatever. It would make a big deal to me, big difference. For put another 20 pounds, I wouldn't care that much.
Sure.
Back then I would.
Back then you would have, and there was a time in which I wanted to get as jacked as possible, and that time is still now for me, but it's coming to an end soon.
Yeah,
I can see the horizon.
Yeah.
And it's just, we all on our own separate journeys.
Absolutely.
And journeys come to ends, and that's okay. A lot of times I've heard people say, I never want to be small because I never want to feel small again.
Yeah.
But feeling small is in your head, you know.
For sure.
And if it's really, I think for some people it's like an intimidation thing. Like if they don't feel like they can handle themselves as a man, they don't feel good about it. Well, they'll just learn high-level mixed martial arts, jiu-jitsu, and like tactical weapons training, and always either have a knife or a gun on you, and you don't ever have to feel weaker than anyone ever again. Because if I run into someone on the street that can pew, I'm dead for sure. It doesn't matter how jacked you are.
You sweep and put him in a triangle. Done.
Boom.
That's what the thing
Shoot
is.
that gun now, motherfucker.
Yeah.
He shoots me in the face. I'm like, oh, good call.
So hang on a sec. Get down on the ground.
Wait.
Let's do this.
We're going to do formal jiu-jitsu.
Please get into guard, please, and then put me in guard.
This has to be a fair fight if we're going to do this alpha male shit. Yeah, so I guess the take home is like, it's totally cool to want to get super jacked. Understand that parts of the process and the eventuality of what you're going to become may be very uncomfortable, which is okay. And it's worth it. Bask in that glory. Enjoy yourself. Get jacked. Be big, be strong, take lots of pictures, do lots of Instagram stuff, take all the compliments, let it really fill your heart, soak it up. And then I think for many people at the end of that process, they're going to be like, I feel great and I don't necessarily need this anymore. And then when you drop the weight and you're smaller again and you're more comfortable, you can really enjoy life and see all the beautiful things in the world without being in like a giant battle tank of a human being.
Sure.
Like, what the hell is happening with my face? Can you guys describe that? I don't
Yeah.
know. But it's just a matter of journeys, and so I never want to tell someone, hey, don't get big, it'll be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
If it's in your heart for you to get big, keep getting bigger. Realize it'll be uncomfortable, but then also realize that after some time of being big, it may fill your heart up so much with what you needed out of the process that you may not need that anymore. And it's not like somebody telling you don't need it, it's you feeling you don't need it anymore. And then you get small and you're like, this is great. And if, let's say you're 55 years old and you see like a young jacked guy in a plane and you sit next to him, and somebody be like asking him for training advice instead of you because they just don't know that you have a trillion YouTube followers. And at that point, you might just smile about it. You're like, yeah, ask this guy. It's cool. It's nice, young man. It's nice that you're doing this thing. And he may talk to you and realize who the fuck you are and be like, holy shit, like, can I ask you questions? And all of a sudden it's confusing. But, it's life goes in cycles. And
Absolutely.
It's not, the point isn't to get, 350 pounds and then die at age 75, which would be kind of a neat way to do it. But I'm looking forward to when I don't have to be this jacked anymore. But I'm trying to enjoy the living fuck out of this journey until it ends.
Absolutely. Final note, because I think that's a really, really good summation on like your perspective as well. A lot of people, and I could have seen myself going down that route as well, they get stuck. They get stuck chasing forever. And they get lost, they get obsessed. It becomes truly an addiction of like, And never being able to, like you say for yourself, you're getting to a point where you're at a point now where you're full. Some people never get filled and they're always chasing it. Is there anything you might recommend as a takeaway or something for them to do to help to get to that point where they may realize that they are full?
Yes.
Like for me, it was a lot of self-reflection. It was a lot of therapy. It was a lot of personal work. Jiu-jitsu helped a lot as well. Martial arts helped a lot. Having other interests have helped a lot as well, like guitar or...
You play the guitar?
Yeah.
So you have hair like that and you play the guitar?
Yeah.
Can we just have sex, please?
We're on the couch
tired
for
of pretending.
This is really what we're here for, guys.
Excellent.
I've been laying that game
Let's
down.
Do it. Sorry, you were saying?
Well, I mean, that's what's helped me, but like, what would you think has helped you, or what do you think could help other people as like one or two things they might want to look into?
Yes, one thing is mindfulness and meditation practice, and really exploring what it is that's inside your head. You'll see that a lot of thoughts and feelings repeatedly come up, and you can be calm about seeing them, recognizing them, introspecting into them, and understanding that, like my friend Jared Feather says, thoughts are just things. They don't define you. They are features of your mind, but when you can become really at ease with their existence, you may not have to run away from them or towards them anymore like a fucking hamster, right? So if you have something in your head that's like, you're not shit, you're never going to become anything, you suck, you can listen to that voice, and you can subconsciously listen to it and be like, ah! Or you can consciously listen to it and be like, oh, that's interesting. I don't know where that comes from, but I hear that voice. And then it goes, you suck. And you listen to it for minutes, and you listen to it for hours, you listen to it for days. And it goes, you suck. Yeah. And it gives up.
Yeah,
and then there's silence. And then there's peace. And then it comes up again the next day. It starts yelling at you. But you're like, I've heard this song and dance before. And it gets quieter faster. And then the next day it'll get quieter. It'll get louder for a long time. But then on average, over the months and years, everything just it grinds to like how a stream sounds, like a stream of water.
Yeah.
And okay, this isn't very disturbing anymore. And we all have demons, and our demons may never leave, but they become very quiet relative to the strength of our perception and the power of our peace. And that really helps a ton.
Yeah, I love that.
But the other thing that helps, and helped me a ton, is it's easy to be addicted to something which you do only impulsively and compulsively. Like if I train with the exercises that make me feel good, if I train hard when I feel like it, and when I don't train hard, it's an addictive loop because I only do it when I want it. The way to get away from that addictive loop is like when guys say like, yeah man, I can never give this shit up. And then I see them eating like a ho-ho or something. And I'm like, are you into this for real? Like for serious? Not serious as it gets. I'm like, how the fuck is that in your diet, you stupid motherfucker?
Yeah.
Like, well, I don't know if I'm ready to like just go all clean food. Like, stop doing that. You want to cure the addiction? You do what it takes. So right now my life is like very structured as to when I train, when I eat, what I eat, etc. And it's wearing me down. I don't want to do this anymore because I have to live like a machine. You live like a machine long enough, you won't want that anymore. So if you're serious about it, I really want to get jacked, but you're worried like I'm never going to be able to give this up, and I know I should, live your life like a machine to the fullest to get as jacked as you humanly can, past the point of where you're enjoying it. Yeah. And then you'll burn out on it, and that'll be great. Not quite that simple, but something like that.
Absolutely,
right? Apply a rigorous program to take your goal seriously. Give it everything you have for months and years, and at some point you'll have nothing left to give, and you will be at peace.
For sure. I love that. I really like that mentality around it.
Give it everything.
That gives a lot of, again, I never thought of that consciously, but something that would have happened to me, because I spent many years just pushing it too far.
Yes.
Pushing it too far, like this is not healthy. Like skipping my birthday, skipping Christmas, like this is too far, but I need to do this to get to my goal.
Yes.
And then it was easy for me to say, I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Who wants to skip their birthday?
And if you ever have second thoughts later in life when you're, just chronologically unable to gain the muscle back, you will say, man, I really want to get jacked. I feel like I never tried hard enough. You will be able to tell yourself, well, of course I tried hard enough. I gave it everything I had.
For sure.
And I'll be able to say at the end of my bodybuilding journey, within reason, I didn't take 10 trillion milligrams of drugs.
What's next time?
For sure, in the next life. Within the parameters I set myself for health and safety, I did everything I possibly could. And because I know that I did that, I have nothing to worry about, and that was cool.
I love that. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate that. Of course. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions at all, drop them down below. And don't forget to check out Dr. Mike over on Renaissance Periodization on their own YouTube channel. He posts a ton of content every single day. I can't keep up with it. Maybe you can. And that's it for today. I'll see you guys next time.